Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the American Sports Connection. I'm your host, the one and only Joey Railroads, and I actually have two special guests with me today. I got my buddy and co-host, Mr. Ryan Ennis, and I have the boss man over at B Plus Player Radio hanging out with us, talking some Survivor Series, Mr. Mark Adam Haggerty. Good morning, gentlemen.
Yo, what's up, man? Good morning. Thank you for having me back on your show.
Good morning.
No problem.
Cool. Yeah. Should I keep talking? This is the boss man, by the way, Mark.
You can do whatever you want.
It is good to be back. I'm excited. As I was telling you guys before we even started, I've got like a 50% good idea of what's going on in the world of wrestling right now. So I'm excited to learn along with this preview.
Yeah. Last night was actually some really good stuff and some really bad stuff happened heading into Survivor Series. It was kind of like a balance out of stuff. I don't know where you want to start, but Triple H is now in Survivor Series match, and Jason Jordan is out. So,
oh, well. There we go. Just putting the cart right in front of the horse right now.
Yeah, it was really bad because what they did, Bray Wyatt wrestled Jason Jordan on Raw. Jordan beat him, and then Bray Wyatt attacked him and beat up his leg so that he was injured. And it had this really awkward backstage segment where Jason Jordan's like, no, I could still wrestle for the pay-per-view and, believe in me, Dad, and all this other kind of stuff that eventually led to them going out to the ring and Triple H coming out and saying, if you're not going to tell him I'm taking your spot, and eventually pedigrees Jason Jordan and leaves.
All right, I'm with it. I told you guys, I said I hadn't watched Raw, but a buddy of mine texted me this morning just well, I guess, Survivor Series is, exponentially more interesting all of a sudden. And I guess that's what he's talking about. Nothing against, you guys know me. I like to, I work in the industry, so I want to be objective. I never want to talk about anyone, but I personally would be more excited to see Triple H than Jason Jordan. So for me, it does make the pay-per-view itself a little bit more enticing.
Yeah, and I agree. And at the very beginning of the show, Stephanie came out and said, made a mention of the last time Cena was around, he was actually on Raw. And somehow he ended up on Team SmackDown, and Team Raw got Jason Jordan. And you have a 16-time world champion and Kurt Angle's son.
That's hilarious, though. And I did listen to a couple clips of her berating the Shield and Kurt Angle and everything. I know Stephanie McMahon gets kind of a bad rap from everyone, and maybe it's because she just came back, and we're not inundated with her presence already. But I very much enjoy her. She gets that rap for running people down, but I think people need to realize, that's her job, and the job of the people that she's running down is to hang with her. And if they can't, it's survival of the fittest in this business. I enjoy everything that I've heard of her and that I've seen of her since she's come back.
And I agree fully. I actually tell my wife every time she's on screen, this is Vince McMahon's daughter. She is perfect in the role of what she does. She's an okay babyface for a little while, but she's an amazing heel authoritative figure. And the fact that she's a female and she can't be touched, I think just people complain about that. I think it adds to the character. That's perfect because she can never get her just due.
That's a really good point.
No, I completely agree. I love her work as a bad guy.
Yeah.
So what's on this card though? Because not to the last time I did a show maybe 2-3 weeks ago with someone just talking about everything that was late, because the Survivor Series card was laid out pretty far in advance.
Yeah.
But I guess that's because all changed. So things seem to have changed. So I feel like everything that I don't know what's even on this card at this point.
Okay. Well, I have the Wikipedia pulled up in front of me, so I'll just go straight down at one by one. Apparently this just happened. I wasn't aware of this earlier, but they moved the cruiserweight title match to the pre-show.
The pre-show that starts at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is Enzo Amore, who is your cruiserweight champion, defending against Kalisto.
I have to say, like, living on the East Coast is great for my career because there's more promotions and everything to work for. But as far as my fandom, living on the West Coast was so much better because these pay-per-views were over at 8 o'clock. It's just, I'm just looking, I can't imagine, though, living out there now where it's starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, though. That's crazy. I'll tell you, I'm not too invested in this cruiserweight division, and I know that's not like that's not a defining theory. Like not too many people are. I don't know. Nothing about it really hooks me, to be quite frank with you.
And you know what? You're right. There's a lot of talent there, but they've done absolutely nothing to make it a show worth watching. I mean, their whole first big angle involved Noam Dar and Alicia Fox in a love triangle with Cedric Alexander. That's not
I'll be
going to
honest,
get people to watch.
I've never watched 205 Live, and that's no slight against it. I watch a lot of things on the network. I'll watch NXT and all that stuff. I've never watched it. I've never heard like, oh man, you got to go back and watch this match or anything like that. It just I see the whole purple rope thing on. I don't know if they still do that. I haven't watched in a while, but like the whole like changing of the guard with the purple ropes and everything, and I was like, no, I don't really want any part of this.
Yeah, no, they stopped doing that because it basically gave everyone the cue to, okay, we can go use the bathroom or go get something to eat or.
Well, also from a production standpoint, that tape isn't free.
Exactly.
Like there aren't purple tape trees out there like they're harvesting. That's not free. All the stuff that they're doing, and it's I like to break down like the production cost of like just changing all that stuff over, and to have Vic Joseph and those guys. It's a nightmare logistically. So I can see why they just said no, forget that. I don't know why. I don't know why they need their own show to begin with. I do like, and I don't want to monopolize all the time here. I apologize, but like I don't like the fact that they like the cruiserweights on Nitro didn't have their own show. They were just on Nitro, and the same thing about the cruiserweights back in the dawning days of SmackDown. When they were only on SmackDown. I don't know why they need their own show because I like them as wrestlers. I like seeing them show up on Raw, SmackDown, and all that kind of stuff. But you have a point there when they start changing the ropes and when they start switching over to like, oh, it's different now. I tune out, and I think a lot of people tune out on that whole show.
I agree.
And I think it's a shame. And I think there's just so many workers right now on all the rosters, including NXT, that even without their show, I don't know how many eyes would be getting on them as a whole. Maybe one or two guys, whoever you're highlighting, but it would be hard to add 15 guys into the rotation on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, I mean, like, I think that they're trying to just build brands with, like NXT being a brand instead of like a company in a way.
Yeah, well, I think, and are we all on the same? I mean, I feel like when I first heard about 205 Live, when they pitched it during the Cruiserweight Classic, I was pretty psyched for it because in my mind, I figured they would be filming it at Full Sail. It would have the same kind of feel and everything. Because I feel, honestly, I'll tell you right now, if they did the same stuff, and I'm talking about the Noam Dar love triangle, I don't care. Do the exact same stuff, but in that building, in front of that crowd. Yeah. I think I would like it more. Even the love triangle stuff. Yep. I feel like, because they do goofy stuff like that on NXT, but there's something about it.
it's that homegrown feel, and it's what doesn't translate over when Tyler Breeze came up, when the Ascension came up, even American Alpha. There's a disconnect between what they've accomplished in NXT to how they're portrayed at their debuts on the main roster. They'll say, "Oh, in NXT," forgetting the fact that most of their audience doesn't watch NXT.
Yeah, exactly. And you look at it, just note, like, from my own experience, you work in like tiny little venues. You can have, and not to say that they have they've got a lot of people in that Full Sail auditorium, whatever, but I can work in a tiny little venue with 50 people, 100 people, and they're loud and they're screaming, and they're in their face. And if you see that on camera, you're like, wow, Mark is over like Rover. Then you put me in like a baseball stadium in like Connecticut or upstate New York in front of like a bunch of, it's a different kind of effect, because you're still going to have those same rabid people, perhaps even more, in those like large arenas when they're watching it, but you don't get the same effect. It doesn't come off the same way because it's not that intimate feel that you're getting in Full Sail.
Yep,
exactly.
I agree.
That connection isn't there.
Yeah.
You make that individual connection with those fans, and if they're there every week, then they feel like family. Look at the PWG family.
Yeah, exactly.
You could do anything in PWG in front of those fans, and they will love and they will appreciate it.
I agree.
No, I completely agree with that. That being said, I feel they're trying to run with Enzo with the flag bearer of this division for the time being, and I don't see him losing this title to Kalisto.
No, I don't either.
I don't either.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Next,
and we got the 2 women's matches.
What's that, Ryan?
We got the women's match.
Yes. It
wow.
is.
That's vague.
Yeah, it's Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss versus, and it's funny because they just have SmackDown Women's Champion on Wikipedia. It's currently Natalya, but she's defending it tonight against Charlotte, so it could change.
And I think like there seems to be a sentiment amongst a lot of people that Charlotte could win this just to make things more interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to keep her away from Asuka on the female team roster.
Well, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that, I mean, we're recording this on Tuesday morning. Do you guys think Charlotte's going to win the title?
I would lean toward yes.
Yeah, I would lean more towards yes also. Just I don't know if Bliss and Natalya is really a match that's going to cause a lot of like attention.
It doesn't build like this show, to their credit, because Survivor Series is, at least in my mind, a distant fourth when it comes to the big four. Even when you take into account the King of the Ring, I think it's after King of the Ring, which hasn't been on in 10, 15 years. But this is an exciting card to me. Yeah. And this match with Natalya just doesn't feel exciting. I'm stealing this from someone else, I forget who, but we've seen Alexa and Natalya interact before, and whereas upper higher parts of the card, we're seeing first time interactions, we're seeing quote unquote dream matches. I think that Charlotte and Alexa Bliss has way more juice to it, and I don't know. I would personally like to see it more. I think it's unanimous. I'm with you guys. I'm leaning toward yes, but I don't think any of us are willing to say yes.
It would sound like politicians.
Yeah, it's like the voters are saying yes. We'll see what they say in November.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, going one-on-one with the U.S. Champion.
Can I ask you a real quick question, Joey Railroads? Is this still the pre-show?
No. This is the only pre-show match they have is Enzo and Kalisto.
Well, I'm sure that's going to change. It's a 2-hour pre-show. I'm not going to listen to Renee Young list her way through 2 hours of nonsense if they're not going to have at least two matches.
You would think, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. It's The Miz, the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, going up against the U.S. Champion, Baron Corbin, who ironically is defending his title tonight as well against Sin Cara, I think it is.
Can I ask you guys? This is a totally serious question because, like, and I've said before, I get a lot of my main roster, my Raw, my SmackDown, my Impact, all my news secondhand through like podcasts and stuff. But from what I've heard, Miz is who is the greatest performer of our generation.
Absolutely.
He is like I've heard him say things like you Baron Corbin, you're like the indie tough guy and this and that, and I'm sitting back like, hold the phone, like, is anyone actually rooting for Baron Corbin in this? Because the way they're painting it, it seems like Miz is trying to cut promos that make it sound like the fans like Baron Corbin to a degree, but they don't. So it's just so strange to me, isn't it?
Yeah. I was gonna say that's news to me.
Well, like he's responding to stuff that Baron Corbin's been saying on social media videos. Like, he brought up his wife, he brought up his kid. So Miz is like angry Miz now because he crossed the line. He's talking about his family. He said something about Maurice calling him daddy.
So, and this is an honest question. Do the fans like that? Like, because I haven't been watching. Like, first of all, does the general fan in the audience know that Baron Corbin is doing that? First of all, and second, like, is there some kind of cause and effect here where like fans are like, yeah, now I like you because you're talking shit about a man's family? You know what I mean? Like, is any of this working, like what they're trying to do? And I'm not trying to, like, look, I'm trying to get signed, so I'm not trying to bury what they're doing.
Oh, no, not at all.
But it seems like there's a real disconnect with just these two guys in a program with each other at all.
Well, I think we underestimate how many people actually follow their social media. I mean, a lot of these guys have millions of followers. I don't know if you're the generation, because I'm too old for the generation that lives on social media.
No, yeah, I know that they do.
But I think like a Twitter video, people will know. A lot of people will know about. Plus, then he said you were talking about XYZ on Twitter, and they may have actually played the clip on SmackDown.
All right.
Don't quote me on that though.
Well, and like I said, it's an honest question because to me, usually when they try and bring those two worlds together, talking about the social media and then like the live action product itself, like it seems like whenever they're trying to bring those two things together, you're going to have a percentage of the audience that not only connects with it and gets it, but they like it because it's like, oh, they're going that extra mile. But it's going over a lot of people's heads.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And it's just, and I told Ryan, I think we talked about it on our show Friday. It's just strange because it's a heel versus heel match.
Who? No, it's not. The Miz is, I guess to you. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Like, yeah, you're right about that, and that's why I think they're trying to like make Baron Corbin like this,
sympathize with him or whatever.
Well, like this no nonsense, I don't want to compare him to anyone that did it better, but just like a smack talking. Oh, wow, I can't believe he would say that. But then it's like, dude, he's talking about a guy's wife and his unborn child. Like,
yeah, that's not cool.
Like, what the? Why?
I just think WWE has a rough time with just doing straight heel versus heel. So they're trying to make Baron Corbin look like he's the worst of the two. And they're giving, no one's going to boo The Miz for standing up for his wife.
I'll say right now, I agree with you. But, I also everyone has a tough time doing heel versus heel. I'm racking my brain right now because you see it all the time on the indies because guys show up, guys get replaced, blah blah blah. But it's tough to do heel versus heel no matter who you are. I don't think that's a WWE problem. I think that's just I don't know. And once again, I don't want to try and justify anything or not justify it, but I can't understand the direction or anything, unless it's leading to something bigger. And then around WrestleMania, we're all like, you remember when Mark was trying to figure this out? So simple now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. If the Miz, if Corbin wins, we riot though. I don't know. The Miz has to win. And none of the titles are on the line in these like champion versus champion matches, right?
Correct.
No.
What? Okay, whatever.
But
it's for brand supremacy.
Go ahead, Rye.
No, their tagline is brand supremacy.
And, you know, and not to beat a dead horse, because I know this is like everyone's qualm with this. I like it, because I honestly think it is being built well. I think some of the, you know, the run-ins and the, you know, the invasions have been, you know, perceived really well. But, man, wouldn't this have been, like, way better if this was a longer time coming and not just something they started doing, like, a month ago? You know, when Stephanie and Shane were both given, like, you know, the keys to their two different cars, Raw and SmackDown, by Vince McMahon, like a year or however long ago, it should have been going on this whole time. There should have been Raw versus SmackDown stuff this whole time, and they just dropped it. They had a perfect opportunity to do this and to lead to something huge. And don't get me wrong, like I said, this is an exciting show that I don't watch all the shows, but I'm going to watch this one. I'm psyched for it. But it could have been a much better build-up if they didn't just like, all right, Hell in a Cell is over. The brands hate each other now. Go.
Yeah, like you hate you.
I agree
now.
fully. Yeah. I agree fully. Anytime they have an opportunity to do a really good crossover, they end up fucking it up. But it really had the potential to be built. It's been good so far with what they have. It really has been. I agree 100%. I like the one run-in. I like the fact that they haven't retaliated yet. It leaves people wondering and wanting instead of just the instant gratification and the instant payoff. But yeah, I feel like a lot of it was rushed. There was no previous build. Like now all of a sudden, you're Raw, we're SmackDown. And we're just going to – and here's the jump off.
Exactly.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. All right, next we have, and I think they just made this official last night. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rye. It's the Shield going one-on-one with the New Day.
Yes. The New Day accepted via social media.
Jesus, what?
And then they announced it on Raw that the New Day on Twitter had accepted because early in the show.
The tweet.
Dude, I would get it. I would get it if WWE didn't have any followers and they were trying to build their social media. But my God, they have the most. There's no one left. Come on, guys, stop digging. You struck oil.
Yeah. So now they just have full-blown storylines happening on social media now.
Yeah. I guess that was the end game. Yeah. Why do you want to build it up? So we can do it over. I guess. Yeah, you're right. That's what they tried to do with Tout. It never really worked, though.
No. But yeah, I'm optimistic that this is going to be a very good, 6-minute match. See both squads at their fullest.
Yeah, I like both these teams. More of a New Day fan myself personally, but you can't take anything away from anyone. I'm always finding myself being a Roman Reigns apologist, but I know I don't have to do that on this show, so I won't. But I think like all 6 of these guys are awesome, and these are those matches like the Shield against the Wyatt family and stuff like that really made the Shield pop, and we very rarely get to see the New Day in full force. It's usually 2 guys and, another, usually Xavier Woods on the outside. So I am excited for just every way this is going to go. It's going to be a cluster without a doubt. There's going to be crazy stuff going on all over the place. It's going to be a photo finish, but that's what we pay for. That's what we pay $9.99 for.
Right. And go ahead, Ryan.
I agree. No, I was just agreeing.
No, what I was going to say is I also think because of, I guess you would consider New Day's character kind of, to some people, hokey to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, those guys are really good in the ring.
Yeah, they're hokey to a degree, but I think like it's all. They're not like, the Ascension type of hokey where they're not self-aware. I think, the New Day, it's all about having fun and being like, fun guys. They They remind me of like a New Orleans jazz band, that just like, like you see like with the funeral processions and everything, just like brightly colored, and not just because they've got jazz instruments, but like they, I don't know, I can see how some people would think they're hokey, but I think that they're way more grounded in reality than a lot of people.
Oh,
I mean, there's a guy on the show that dresses like his dead sister, guys. Like, come on.
Oh my god! Thank God he got friggin' mumps or whatever it was he ended up getting, because that would have been like the final nail in the coffin of his character. Because they don't know what they're doing with Bray Wyatt.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's such a sad story because he could have been so awesome.
Is he on this show at all?
No, not to my knowledge.
Oh, that's good.
What I also was going to say is this is a good match for Roman to kind of come back to after he was being sick, kind of get his feet wet. And you had mentioned this off air, Rye, that, if you let him play his part in the Shield, like he does a really good job at that.
Yeah, I can really deal with Roman in his role in the Shield. And like I told you before, I actually didn't mind him being on the mic last night. I didn't like how it came out because that felt forced. But he's charismatic. Like that would have worked. It's just that, again, I have a feeling that was totally heavily scripted with how to deliver it. Like he's just let it come out more natural instead of trying to sound natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'd probably put money on the Shield going over in this one because that's their cash cow. Well, the New Day is too, but you know what I mean.
I could see some kind of schmoz ending to this where like nobody really goes over, and what I could really what I'm waiting for is because the New Day. You made a point about how they're hokey. I think that maybe they're not hokey. Like they definitely seem to rub some people the wrong way, with like just how like overt they are and like how like obnoxious they are.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see some kind of schmoz ending here where the New Day, get out of Dodge before they're defeated or something, and we start to slowly see maybe not a heel turn, but something different from the New Day, because they've been doing this for a long time now. And we've really only seen them as, when they were preachers, I guess they were supposed to be bad guys, but they've always been really well received by the fans. And I think that, they've got to take a page from the Usos and just like, refresh, and in their case, refresh before they're stale, because they're not stale yet. And I don't see either team going over here, quite frankly, and that's why I think it's going to be some kind of, wacky finish.
What do you think, Rye?
Oh no, I'm gonna pick the Shield for this one because now they finally got them back together. The last time they were supposed to have them together, Roman got sick. That's why last night they must have said original Shield 50 times.
It was funny to me. I thought about it, I'm like, original shit. What do they mean? And I'm like, because Kurt filled in when Roman was sick.
Yeah, they must have called them the original Shield members 50 times last night. But yeah, I think this is what they've been waiting for, and I think right now they're going to sacrifice New Day, who really aren't doing a hell of a lot for the Shield.
Okay. All right. Next, we have the Raw Tag Team Champions, The Bar, which is Cesaro and Sheamus, against the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos.
I don't know, but it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I think it's another good match without a doubt. I'm going to go with the Usos on this one, though. I think Sheamus and Cesaro have both proven over the past several years that they can lose matches, and it doesn't matter at all. Whereas the Usos, to me, both teams are hot because Sheamus, but I feel like it's relative. The Usos were hot already, and they're hotter than they've ever been right now. Whereas Sheamus and Cesaro were both lukewarm to cold, and now they're just better. So I think like if either team is going to take the fall on this one, it's going to be The Bar. Worst name ever, by the way. I hate that name.
I agree. With all sentiments. I think the Usos are just hotter right now. The Bar just won the titles. They don't have the momentum, and I just think it's better for the Usos now. And I think it'll do less damage, like you said, for like Sheamus or Cesaro to take the pin. But I think that it's gonna be one of the matches of the night, if not the match of the night.
Go ahead, Mark.
Well, I was just going to say, I think the Usos, you can really tell how hot they are, though, because these guys, they went heel, like full on, like, diabolical, dastardly heel, and it made the fans like them more. And, now they're riding that, like, tweener wave where they're definitely more babyface than they are heel. Try as they might, but that's just like a testament to, like, how over they are. And I feel like that right there, not to like, beat the dead horse, but, we all talked like, 10, however many years ago, like, why don't they ever like turn John Cena? Same thing with like a Roman Reigns, who's to say the same exact thing wouldn't have happened? Like, you turn John Cena, he's heel for a couple months, but then he's just so cool that people love him again, So I think what has happened to the Usos is a testament to what the WWE has been afraid of doing with their main eventers.
I agree.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All I was just going to say is I'm going to go with the Usos as well and just agree with everything you guys said about them.
Good call.
Yeah. Next, we have the women's 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination, which is Team Raw, which consists of Alicia Fox, Nia Jax, Asuka, Sasha Banks, and Bayley against Team SmackDown, which is Becky Lynch, Carmella, Naomi, Tamina, and apparently they haven't announced the fifth one. Do you know about that, Rye?
It's Paige, isn't it?
No, I thought it was going to be the winner. The loser of the Charlotte Natalia match tonight.
Okay.
Because it was originally Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was under the impression that what because Paige is supposed to be coming back like this week. Did she come back on Raw?
Apparently, from what I've been reading, she was backstage last night, but not used.
I don't know if they want to hold off.
But she's not on like either roster, so it's not like she would. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think she was ever drafted.
Well, and I don't like to feed into the dumb rumors that people write about on the internet or anything like that. But to me, that would be infinitely more. It's another one of those things where, like, if you inject Paige into that fifth spot, it's just, to me, infinitely more interesting than either Charlotte or whomever.
I agree with you if that team's gonna win, because you can't have her come back and then be pinned.
Yeah. That makes sense.
She'd have to be on the team that's going to win.
Theoretically, like, yeah, I mean, when it comes to good booking practices, yeah, you're 100% right. But, I mean, that's not to say that doesn't happen on a weekly basis, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I don't think that we can really look at, like, that as an indicator of what's going to happen. But, I mean, if they've said that it's going to be one of those other two women, then it's going to be one of them.
That's what I'm assuming, because it was Charlotte. Charlotte's been moved up to fight Natty, and I don't think it was ever discussed. But my common sense would be, if it was Charlotte and she wins, then wouldn't Natty take her spot?
I mean, she's got to get that payday, right? You don't want to steal that from her. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's money.
Like Jinder.
That's big pay-per-view money.
Like Jinder Mahal. He goes from challenging Brock Lesnar to off the card.
Yeah, well, things happen. He's not even on, like, Team SmackDown or anything, right?
Nope.
No. He's off the card completely. Dude didn't even make the pre-show.
Oh, well.
Oh, man.
The one, I have to say this, and I've said this before, it just irritates me that they had Alicia Fox be the team captain of Raw.
I think that was the point.
Yeah.
Well, then they did
She's
their
a heel.
job.
And she's annoying.
I mean, she's crazy. Like she plays that character very well. I mean, it gets tired fast, but it's going to be like 3 weeks that we got to deal with it.
I think
She comes out
people,
wearing the captain uniform.
I think people give Alicia Fox like way too much shit because if you really look at her, you know, the Bellas are gone. Every single woman from that diva era, with the exception of like Natalia, who never even fit that mold to begin with, they're all gone, and Alicia Fox is the only one left. And if you look at Alicia Fox from, you know, wedding planner to now, and just like the progress that she's made in ring, like I feel like people just give her so much shit for no reason, and it's like, dude. She's made way more progress in the ring than I've made in the ring. I'll tell you that right now. And not for nothing, like she's smoking hot. So let's just like let's be cool. Like let's not make her want to leave. Let's not cyberbully any women into leaving.
I agree with you. She's gotten so much better in the ring.
You know, she's stepped up to the rest of the competition, and that's something that I feel like a lot of people wouldn't admit about like a Nikki Bella, who also did that kind of thing where. You know, when these women came in, I'm not so sure someone like a Tori Wilson or a Candice Michelle wouldn't have been able to hang. But, you know, Alicia Fox, Nikki Bella, a couple of those women really stepped their game up and have rolled with the transition from diva to women's wrestling. And yeah, I get that Alicia Fox captaining the team is annoying, but I think Ryan made the best point of all. Is like that's the point. She's annoying. She's crazy. So
yeah, and that's the best way to show the character is for her to go out and annoy people. Like that's who she's supposed to be annoying.
Yeah, she's annoying you, Joey Railroads.
Yeah. All right, so who do you guys got? The female women from Raw or SmackDown?
Legit, no idea. Don't care. Like,
I'm only gonna say Raw because Asuka's on the team.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I could see her just mowing down every single person.
Yeah,
I could see her being the. I could see SmackDown taking the lead on everything until Asuka's the last woman, and it's a 5-on-1, and then she just destroys each one in a row, and then it's her against like I don't know Charlotte or whoever the best person is, and then we get something good out of it. But I agree with you. That's a really good point. Asuka's on Team Raw. I'm going with Team Raw too. But when it comes to these interbranded like 5-on-5 matches, like I don't care. I just want to see some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree about Asuka, like what she did to poor Dana Brooke last night, taking her head off.
Bro, she kicked her, like, I think she went to block it and missed the block because her face going down, she looked like she got legitimately stunned.
Yeah, it was bad.
I love watching Asuka just beat the fuck out of these girls.
Well, shout out to homegirl Casey Catal, who was the first one to get her head kicked off by Asuka on this reign of terror since joining the main roster.
Oh wow!
You know, Creator Pro. I think she's still a student there. She's always on Wrestle Pro now, though. But she was the first one. I forget what the fake name they gave her was, but she was the first one to get her head kicked off down. I think she was in Baltimore. Was the first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And then it was last week. I mentioned I'm trying to remember her name. The girl that she destroyed in the UK is Isla Dawn, Tommy N's girlfriend, who I've seen.
Look at you! Look at you knowing all the tabloid facts about wrestling.
The only reason I know that is because I was told that.
Okay.
I don't dig that shit up. I could care less.
Oh yeah, okay, sure.
All right, moving on. We have. Let me see where we at. Okay, we have the Beast Brock Lesnar going 1-on-1 with AJ Styles.
I could care less who wins. I just want to see a good match. This is a dream match.
Yeah. Agreed.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't. I couldn't agree more. It's not that I don't care who wins. I would actually like to see AJ win. But yeah, I'm just interested in seeing what they do. It's not. I mean, both of these guys are incredible. It's just that in the last 2-3 years, however long, Brock Lesnar's just been on this whole suplex gimmick, and I just don't. I'm just curious to see how the two sides are going to meet and come up. I'm just excited to see the match and what they come up with, quite frankly. But I'm pulling for AJ Styles in this one.
Me too, and I agree with what you're saying. I'm curious to see how they're going to mesh each other's style and make it work.
Yeah, I mean, I've no doubt that they will. I mean, and that's the thing is and I hesitate to even question Brock Lesnar because just because we've only been seeing this one side of him recently. The guy is a former NCAA champion. The guy knows exactly what he's doing. He performed over in Japan. I mean, who knows? Maybe this could be the return of the Brock Lesnar shooting star press. Who knows? But
it could be.
This it's definitely going to be a good match. I hope. I get that the 5-on-5 Raw SmackDown match is brand supremacy, whatever that means. It doesn't mean anything. I hope that this is the main event. I just this has a big fight feel to it.
Totally.
Yeah, no, I agree fully. But yeah, the only time of the year where Raw and SmackDown superstars battle in competition has literally become a tagline to the point that when Jason Jordan came out last night and says, "This is Survivor Series," this is the only time he used it in his promo. When talking to him, he pulled out the tagline that they've repeated over and over and over and over again since they started promoting Survivor Series. The only time of the year that the Raw and SmackDown superstars collide, it's ridiculous.
Well, it's ridiculous because the tagline should be the only time of year when Raw and SmackDown superstars collide, except for all those other times throughout the year where they do.
Like the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, like the Royal Rumble. Like SummerSlam, there's interbranded matches all the time. Didn't AJ Styles wrestle someone on a Raw pay-per-view recently?
Yeah, it was
on the Monday night.
The last pay-per-view. The last pay-per-view had a Raw versus SmackDown match, and you have the balls to tell me that.
That Monday Night Raw, I forget who AJ worked.
He was in the 6-man.
The next night?
Yeah.
Okay, well, while he was in the ring, they were promoting Survivor Series, talking about the only time of the year, and I'm like, AJ Styles is in a Raw ring right now. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, they kind of missed that. They mess that up sometimes, almost all the time.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm like, AJ's still on SmackDown. SmackDown talent is fighting Raw talent as they're cutting this promo. Like, oh man, nobody thinks. And then it just became a thing that they said every week. Kurt Angle has said it when he's cut promos.
Yeah, it's absurd.
But as far as the match, I hope for a great match. The promo Heyman cut last night was gold. About this is the only time you have ever or probably will ever see this match. Yeah.
No, and it was funny because Heyman's like, how he uses his promos. He says, I have 4 points I have to sell you on so that you'll watch on Sunday.
Yeah, he's very methodical.
And then some guy proposed to his his girlfriend in the crowd.
Yeah, I saw that. That was hilarious. And didn't Paul Heyman retorted with she only said yes because she hasn't been with the Beast.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
brilliant.
Great.
Absolutely brilliant. If I was Brock Lesnar, I would die laughing right there. I would not be able to contain it.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, that was fire last night. He built it up for anybody who wasn't aware of how amazing it is that match is actually happening. And I'm psyched for this match.
Yeah, me too. All right, and the last one is Team Raw, which now consists of Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Triple H versus Team SmackDown, which is Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, and John Cena.
Yo, not for nothing. Like, I feel like Team Raw is like way better. I don't know. Like, I know that Team SmackDown has Nakamura and Cena, but I mean, Team Raw's got Triple H, Kurt Angle, Finn Balor. Who else is on Team Raw?
Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman.
Dude, Team Raw is so much better. Like, are you kidding me? Like, not for nothing. Like, I like Bobby Roode, but main roster Bobby Roode's kind of like not so great. Dude, Team Raw's going into this with I looks like, I mean, dude, it is what it is, but it looks like they're going into this with an obvious advantage.
I agree, because me and Ryan talked about this. We actually agreed that we wish Shane was not in this and that they put somebody else.
Who would you do though? Who else is on SmackDown? And that's not like I'm genuinely curious. Like, who else is there?
You have Sami Zayn. You have Kevin Owens. Who else did we say before? You have Rusev.
Yeah, but I mean, and I agree with you. It would be a better match. But I mean, if we're talking about star power, is there anyone that really matches up to? I mean, forget Triple H and Kurt Angle. There's not going to be anyone matching up to them, but Shane McMahon. You know what I mean? I feel like,
no, I understand.
I get that.
Like,
I get
Kevin
that.
Owens,
He's a draw.
Kevin Owens would probably be the only one that would make sense. Yeah. So that's all very curious.
I just don't expect anything close to a clean ending. It could be KO and Sami Zayn interfering. It could be Jason
I think that
Jordan
is what it's going to
interfering.
be. I think that is what it's going to be. News flash to anyone that doesn't know, but like all that stuff, like it's so embarrassing to be in a wrestling locker room and hear wrestlers talk about like wrestling rumors about WWE. It's like, dude, don't you have something better to do right now? You're at a show. You're on the card. But like I'm listening to these guys and they're just like, blah blah blah, and they got in a lot of trouble for going into business for themselves. And I'm not going to say who, but someone from WWE said basically what I said out loud to them. Like, dude, guys, come on. That's a work. Are you stupid? It's all a work. It's all part of the storyline. Go work on your fucking match right now. And when I say from WWE, I don't mean currently employed, but someone who's obviously been through the system that knows, like, dude, are you basic? Like, WWE's not going to send two of their biggest stars home for not feeding to the New Day. Are you dumb? So that, plus the fact that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn aren't on this pay-per-view at all, which is very striking. I think that's a very good point. I think that's gonna happen now that you bring it up. I think that they are definitely gonna get involved.
The only other thing that's a far off possibility is somehow Daniel Bryan intervening because of how he got attacked the week after the Raw invasion, and he and Shane were kind of like the week before that he wasn't happy with Shane.
I could definitely see Bryan getting. I could definitely see him getting involved to an extent. Finding a safe way for him to get involved. I mean, who's to say that all of that won't happen? Who's to say that different people from both sides, like Stephanie, Vince, like who's to say everyone's not going to be out there? It's brand supremacy. It's important for some reason. I think that's a good point too, man. I think that these are all viable. Hey, you know what? Just you hypothesizing about this stuff, Ryan, makes me more excited to watch the show, quite frankly.
Oh, I'm glad. I mean, I like the fact that there's multiple things that could actually happen for once, instead of things being like, laid out, obvious, like all this, Roman's obviously going to go over kind of shit.
Well, I mean, there's like 95 people on the card. There's a lot of possibilities. What is this, an independent wrestling card? There's like 1,000 people booked. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Completely agree.
No, I was going to say, if it's an independent card, Mark, there's got to be at least like 10 matches.
How many matches are on this? 7?
8.
That's pushing it.
And then there's probably going to announce one more pre-show match tonight on SmackDown.
Yeah, so it'll probably be 9.
Yeah, oh, thank God. Thank
Hey,
God.
well, at least you'll get another pre-show match, Mark, so you don't have to sit and watch Renee Young talk for an hour and a
When
half.
I was at it's crazy because just to pull back the curtain a little, like, wrestling fans, I feel like for the most part that are like at wrestling shows, because I'll work with them all the time, and they'll be like, a lot of people be like, how many matches are left? Because when they get to like match 7 or 8, they're kind of like, wow, this is kind of long, there's a lot going on, I'm kind of tired, I want to go home. And the guys and girls on the card also feel that way when they find out, oh, there's 10 matches. Oh my God, that's crazy. I don't want to be, you know what I mean? And the promoters also feel that way, where they're like, oh, I have to book 10. So it's this crazy cycle of everyone thinking that everyone else wants there to be 10 matches on every card. If we start a campaign for no more than 7 matches on independent wrestling cards, we could get this done, Joey Railroads.
Yeah, there you go.
Because seriously, the fans don't want to be there all night for that. The wrestlers don't want to be wrestling after midnight unless they're on Joey Janela's spring break extravaganza. They don't, and the promoters don't want to be paying 10 matches worth of people. Sorry, I don't mean to go off on this rant. You just struck a nerve.
No, it's all good.
But you're right, though.
That's the campaign for 2018 to get these men. Because for me, I mean, it doesn't affect me. I'm still booked.
No, I completely understand. I've always said maybe like 6, 7 at the very most matches, because like you said, usually people tune out after that.
I say 7 is the perfect amount. Not to, I'm not going to give away too many of my theories, from my
of course
my
not.
BBWF booking days. But I feel like 4 matches, intermission, 3 matches, boom. Maybe 4 matches, intermission, 2 matches. I don't know. If there's time, we might go to Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know if there's going to be enough time. But yeah. Hey, before we head into the sunset, I want to say, so we just talked about Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
One of the shows on B Plus Player Radio, it was actually one of the very first shows that we debuted back in the beginning of 2016, was Survivor Theories, and it is a Survivor Series retrospective podcast featuring wrestlers. I mean, we've had a whole myriad of different guys come on. I think Damian Gibbs, Delroy Alexander, Sean Donovan, a whole bunch of different guys were on the most recent episodes. And we put the show on the shelf for several months because my career started picking up. My co-host on the show, Gary Mastriano, is the saxophonist for the Backyard Superheroes. They were a very, very successful, prominent ska band who tours all over America. His career started picking up, so we just didn't get to do it very often. But I wanted to announce that we are returning with brand new episodes starting on Thanksgiving Day of this very year. The Thanksgiving tradition returns with the Thanksgiving tradition. And we are actually going to be reviewing this year's very Survivor Series. So everyone who tunes into B Plus Player Radio, check that out on Thanksgiving Day, morning, noon, night, whenever you want to download it. It's going to be available for your listening pleasure. Gary Mastriano of the Backyard Superheroes, Mark Adam Haggerty of every independent wrestling promotion on the East Coast. We're going to talk about Survivor Series 2017. It's going to be a great time.
It sounds awesome. So
it does.
Yeah. On that note, we're going to get out of here for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, give it a thumbs up.
You know, not to tell you how to do your own job or anything, bro, but like, why don't you put over your show's Twitter or anything like that at the end of your show?
I usually do it in the beginning.
Do you?
Yeah.
But you know that like people are leaving the show right now, so like they're like walking out the door. It's like handing someone like a House of Hardcore pamphlet at like a magic show or something. It's like, hey, come see this. If they have it at the beginning of the show on their seat already, they're going to throw that out. They're going to use it to spit their gum in it. You want to hand it. I'm not telling you how to do your business. I'm just trying to fit in the fact that if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Mark A. Haggerty. Joey Railroads, you can do whatever you want.
No, that you have a very valid point there. Check out our social media pages at facebook.com/American Sports Connection or on Twitter at AMSportsCon, CON pod, POD.
That was good.
Yeah, you got to get in the shill, as I call it. All
there
right.
you go.
we're gonna get out of here. So everybody, have a good day now. Take care.